News, rumors and opinions Thursday, September 25, 2025. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com blog and become our supporter on Patreon. KTFA. Claire. The President of the Republic meets his American counterpart on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. September 24, 2025 Baghdad. President Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid met with his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump on Wednesday on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. The presidency's media department said in a statement received by the Iraqi news agency, INA, President Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid met with U.S. President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Claire. The President of the Republic receives an invitation to visit Vietnam. September 24, 2025 Baghdad. President Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid received an official invitation from President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam Luong Quang to visit Vietnam. The media office of the President of the Republic stated in a statement received by the Iraqi news agency, INA, that President of the Republic Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid received at his residence in New York the President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Luong Quang. According to the statement, the President of the Republic stressed the importance of strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries and expanding the scope of cooperation in various fields, especially agriculture, in a way that achieves the mutual interests of the two friendly peoples. Pointing to the historical relations between Iraq and Vietnam and the importance of investing in them to achieve the aspirations of the two countries for development and progress. The president added, the world is witnessing complex situations that require coordination and joint action to achieve international peace and security. For his part, the Vietnamese president extended an invitation to the President of the Republic to visit Vietnam, and the president expressed his appreciation for this generous invitation. President Leung also expressed his country's aspiration to strengthen joint cooperation with Iraq in various fields, and the need for international action to end wars and conflicts and build cooperative relations that serve the peoples of the world. The meeting was attended by Deputy Prime Minister of the Kurdistan region, Qubad Talabani, National Security Advisor, Qasim al-Araji, Chief of Staff of the Presidency, Camille al-Dulaimi, and from the Vietnamese side, Minister of Industry and Trade, Nguyen Hong Dinh, in addition to a number of Iraqi and Vietnamese officials. Claire. On behalf of the Group of 77 and China, the Iraqi president calls for reforming the global financial system. September 24, 2025. Iraqi President Abdul Latif Jamal Rashid called on Wednesday evening for enhanced cooperation between multilateral institutions and all countries, in a spirit of solidarity and inclusiveness, to implement the 2030 Agenda and build a more just and resilient international financial system. This came during his participation in the first bilateral summit on a sustainable, inclusive, and resilient global economy, implementing commitments related to financing the Sustainable Development Goals. Rashid delivered a speech on behalf of the Group of 77 and China, currently chaired by Iraq, as part of his participation in the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, held in New York. The Presidency of the Republic stated in a statement received by Shafaq news agency that Rashid indicated in his speech that this summit is an important platform for promoting democracy in global economic governance and accelerating the implementation of commitments related to development financing. Rashid highlighted the G77's assertion that global economic governance remains limited in its influence, with developing countries bearing the brunt of debt pressures, capital outflows, and declining aid flows. He also stressed the need for this summit to galvanize collective will to ensure the mobilization of resources and their allocation towards achieving sustainable development. The president concluded his speech by calling on the group to strengthen cooperation between multilateral institutions and all countries, in a spirit of solidarity and inclusiveness, to implement the 2030 Agenda and build a more just and resilient international financial system. Walking stick capitalization is what Iraq is seeking. It's going down against the dollar. That is the goal in order to add purchasing power to the Iraqi dinar. Remember, when the time comes for a new exchange rate, it's a simple flip of the switch because it is now digital. Frank 26 question: once the 3 zeros are dropped, will their currency be at $1.14? It would be at $1, but there's talk it may come out at the float just a little over $1 because they're not going to be pegged to the American dollar. Militiaman interconnectivity. I believe it's going to be digitally done, and I think it's going to be done with new technologies. I also think it's going to be done with a new exchange rate, fundamentally supported by a real effective exchange rate that's based off real fundamentals of the country. The IQD is not the first revalue currency overnight expectations by Iraqi dinar. Adu Matrix. September 25, 2025. What history teaches us about currency revaluation? Have you ever wondered if the Iraqi dinar, IQD, could one day revalue? History has shown us that currencies can change overnight, but only under the right conditions. In this video, we explore the most famous examples of currency revaluations and resets, and what they teach us about the future of the IQD. Here's what we cover. Asterisk the Kuwait dinar revaluation after the Gulf War. Germany's Deutsche Mark reset after World War II by Iraqi dinar. Zimbabwe's currency collapse and what went wrong. China's gradual revaluation of the yuan. What these lessons mean for Iraq and IQD investors today. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com blog and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com